Last night, Ayomide, 28 years old, discovered that the cat she called Ojuju was her late mother from the dead. She made this discovery last night right at a gunpoint. But before then, their story began months earlier, on her first night in a one-bedroom flat in Ojuju. On a night the Lagos skies greeted the city with a downpour so heavy it drowned the sound of your own thoughts. She was taken aback, given the Yoruba superstitions regarding black cats. Hence, she shooed the cat instinctively, waving her hands in the air to scare it away. In response, Ojuju crossed to the other side of the door and tilted its head, before staring back at Ayomide with an unblinking gaze. Ayomide did not try again. She had spent hours and hours behind the tailoring machines in her shops and measuring her proud but elegant clients, while giving them top-tier customer service experience. Also, it was raining that day. So, she sighed and lashed her key to the door, hoping the cat would not be there the next day. She was wrong. Ojuju was there the next morning and night. This time with a well-licked moi-moi leaf, tearing up at her with a knowing look. Ayomide felt an odd unease. For 4 months, Ayomide tried everything to rid herself of the black cat. She had chased it with a stick, bagged some pots, and did any threatening thing she could, but the black cat lingered like a stubborn spirit. Eventually, Ayomide let it stay when it saved her on the day she had an asthma crisis. On that day, she was searching her bag for her inhaler and couldn't find it soon enough. She was fading out at the front door, her energy sapped, wheezing, clawing at her throat for air. She could feel her breath leaving when she felt her inhaler pressing against her lips. She gained consciousness with Ojuju's tail curled around her hand, holding the inhaler in place. Since then, Ayomide had a silent agreement to allow Ojuju to stay. She even named it Ojuju due to its black fur. While Ojuju's presence became a strange comfort, there were still things about the cat that unsettled her. It slept too deeply, too still, like a log of wood. The stillness was almost unnatural. Sometimes, Ayomide would wake in the middle of the night and find the cat curled around her. Its fur, a strange comfort. But she never asked questions, she just let it be. To her, Ojuju was just a stray, a black cat with an attitude. Not until last night. The sound was faint at first, like a whisper of something sharp against the glass. But it was enough to pull Ayomide from sleep. Her eyes flew open, her chest tightening as she strained to listen. There it was again, not the cat-like sound she was used to Ojuju making. The soft padding of paws, the rustling of fur. This was a deliberate scrape, the kind that spoke of intent, of intrusion. The darkness in her one-bedroom flat felt heavier than usual, oppressive even, as if the shadows themselves were conspiring. She couldn't find her phone. Her breath quickened as she remembered it was in the living room, charging it beside the couch. She cursed silently. With nothing else to protect her, she gripped a lamp, hoping it would be enough. At this time, the intruder's footsteps paused just outside her bedroom door. She held her breath while crawling from her bed, tiptoeing with the lamp toward the door. Her mind raced with panic, praying the person would turn back. But the silence that followed wasn't reassuring. It was suffocating. Without warning, the door slammed open, almost hitting Ayomide in the face. A lamp clattered to the floor. The intruder rushed in, a man, tall and hulking, with a gun raised in his hand. Ayomide had no time to react before he struck her across the head. The world tilted. She rolled onto the floor, pain blurring her vision. Her body was numb, She tried to move, to get up, but the floor felt too far away. The man towered over her, calculating as if he wanted to make sure she wouldn't be up to defend herself. Without warning, a hiss cut through the tension, low and menacing. It was Ojuju, coming out from under the bed where she often crawled into after dinner. She lunged with feral fury, ripping the man's mask away and slashing at his face. As the man stumbled, trying to find his bearings, Ojuju rushed silently toward Ayomide. She leaned over Ayomide's trembling form, her body warm against Ayomide's skin. The cat's fur felt strangely familiar, and Ayomide gasped, feeling a jolt of connection she couldn't explain. She saw herself as a child, her mother's face smiling gently at her. She saw her father, holding her mother's hand with reverence in his eyes. Then, she saw her mother, young and vibrant, her eyes full of life and love. Ayomide knew then, without a shadow of a doubt, Ojuju wasn't just a cat. Ojuju was her mother. The very spirit of her returned in the form of the feline creature that had silently watched over her all these months. The picture Ayomide had seen of her mother in her father's old album flashed in her mind. She recognized the warmth in the woman's brown eyes, the smile that mirrored her own. Ojuju had always been there, watching over her, protecting her in ways Ayomide hadn't understood. In that moment of clarity, Ayomide's body felt light, her senses sharper than ever before. She stood up, her legs steady beneath her, the air around her crackling with an electric energy. With a fierce cry, she rushed at the intruder, who had found his gun and was edging to get it. She attacked. She slammed the chair into his legs. It toppled, knocked out cold. Ojuju stayed with her enough for her to call the police. As soon as the wailings of the police car got close, Ayomide sank to the floor. She felt Ojuju's spirit leave her. She was tired and unable to move when she heard the police car stop in front of her house. Ayomide stared at the cat, still wrapped in her mother's essence, and in the truth she had finally uncovered.